Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of the Rising Games podcast.
Hello. Right. So for today's episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of a discussion about game engines. However, we do in fact have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest, and a guy who literally knows nothing about game engines, so this helps. Our guest, David.
Now,
Say hello.
I just like to do a little.
I mean, you know less than the both of us.
Sig, I know more than you.
No, you don't.
Sig, you couldn't.
Anyway, so we'll be talking about game engines. Sorry for the very, very long wait. There were issues where we couldn't actually get into the studio to record. So yeah, that's that.
And of course Christmas, but
yeah,
we're back now.
well,
and
New Year.
I'd just like to give a little bit of a rundown on David. So David was actually a bit before we started doing the podcast, we were originally going to have 3 hosts. It was going to be Sig, me, and David. And we finally now managed to get David on. So, David can now say hello.
There's no camera. Why do you do? Introduce yourself, David.
Introduce yourself, David.
So hi, my name's David, and Sig's a liar. I'm very good at. I'm better at Unity than Sig is, so I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's just a bit self-conscious about his own lack of info regarding Unity and other game engines alike.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, off to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, Sig.
Okay.
You're the little ideas, man.
Yeah, no, I am
You're
the-
gonna be
no,
carrying
okay.
you got to be carrying the episode, man.
No, I am carrying on because I'm questioning him because I look over to him and he literally has a piece of string and ate it. He swallowed a piece of string. No.
There's no proof. There's no proof. There's no cameras in here. There's
Audio
no...
only podcast.
Yeah, this is an audio.
I might put a live replay animation.
You know what
in
we should
there.
do? We need like David's camera right here with his like 720p
Okay.
quality.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, well, I presume most of you won't, but David's camera, he's got like a kind of a phone, so his camera is like really low quality, so it would look like a FNAF security cam basically if it was in the corner of the room.
But yeah, so yeah, I think it'd be quite cool if
It
we
would
got
basically just give us
some
lethal
stuff, but
company
yeah.
graphics. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's
sure you
true.
could wall mount it.
Yeah. All right. So, basically, what I want to talk about, so obviously game engines. So what we'll be going through are our opinions and how we feel on the game engines that we work on. So what we use, we use Unity, Unreal, and personally, me and Felix use a game engine called New Game, sort of a new game engine named Godot.
Yeah.
And honestly, I personally, I've been liking that. So I think let's start with Godot because
I think personally, we should start with probably the one everyone would know, which is Unity.
Actually, no.
So on the course, we learn Unity, Unreal. Everything else, obviously, that me and Sig know or David knows is just stuff that we kind of learned in our free time or know separately. So Unity, of course, is like it's been kind of a pretty standard editor that a lot of people have been using for a while, for sort of years. There has recently been some controversies with the engine, if people want to go more into that.
Yeah, so if you know, you know, but if you don't know, basically Unity decided to charge people. So every single if you made a game per install. So if you made a game using Unity and you earned a lot of money from it, every time someone would purchase or install the game, whether you've deleted it or not, and reinstalled it, you would have to charge I think it was 20p.
It was like 30 pence an install or something.
Yeah. So
which is silly because if you think about it, if I'm your competitor, right, I can just make a bot that just installs your game, deletes the game, installs the game, deletes the game, which is really silly because then I could just bankrupt people.
Yeah, what are your
opinions on it, David?
I think it's very bad. I think it could cripple a lot of creators, you know, especially maybe indie developers without much funding in the first place, trying to get up in the world, you know.
Unity's pretty good. I like the language to learn it is also pretty nice. I'd say it's
Use C Sharp.
mid-range. Yeah, C Sharp. So that's pretty good.
Which we'll get onto a bit later with Godot.
But obviously, I guess one of the only downsides is that it's not really meant for it's not meant for super high-end games, which is good because then you're able to like the people can run your games on really like crappy laptops. For example, David's laptop.
Yeah, I'd say if I were to
which
describe
is
Unity,
surprising.
I'd probably say Unity is kind of like the basic sort of like it's like the standard kind of. It's like if I were to say, oh yeah, imagine a game engine, it would kind of be something that is probably similar to Unity. I feel like other editors are always usually compared to it, and other things are always sort of compared to Unity. I think the next one we should go on to is Unreal Engine though.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. So Unreal, honestly, personally, I've been liking Unreal. I really like it because of the like blueprints. So it's really easy to obviously sort stuff out, like with the blueprints and nodes. And I really like connecting the dots, and it feels satisfying to do. I kind of like it. But since they are presets, you can't really have your own. I mean, you can have your custom thing, but it gets really annoying. But it's like, since they're presets, you don't have a lot of customization options. If that makes sense.
Right. I think that might just be because you don't know a lot of the nodes, but there is like a lot of nodes.
Yeah, no,
with
I know
blueprinting,
there
so
are.
I'm sure that you can do most of the stuff with blueprinting. Plugins as well for Unreal, they can add sort of custom nodes, and as well another thing with the nodes is if you learn C++, then you can actually write your own sort of custom nodes that you can use with blueprinting, which is pretty cool. So that way you can sort of intertwine the two. David, you got any thoughts on Unreal?
Yeah, other than the fact that it's easy to use.
I think that Unreal is good in the fact that there's not a lot of coding involved, considering you can just use the nodes, connect stuff up, and just go on. So it's probably a lot more user friendly to people starting out using game engines. But personally, I do prefer game engines like Unity because although it may be easier to use Unreal, I feel like Unity is kind of like, it's a lot more customizable, like with stuff that you can add in, like the packages, but with Unreal, everything's already there.
You can. There are plugins for Unreal. There's a plugin manager. I installed a procedural thing the other day.
Irrelevant. Anyway, carrying on.
All right. Okay. Another thing I'd say about Unreal is probably how
I like its graphics.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was gonna get onto that. I think the graphics are good, obviously, or they're really good for like really very realistic things. But what I'd say sometimes if you don't necessarily need the realistic graphics, then Unreal can kind of be overkill in a lot of cases.
Yeah. And also considering the fact that if people don't have the storage to actually install it, because I mean it is like around 48, 50 gigabytes. I might be wrong.
Huge.
Yeah, no, basically it's massive. So if you don't have a really high-end computer, you keep touching that mic. Yeah, no. Oi. But yeah, so
David
you
keeps
keep
touching the mic.
so yeah. You don't have good memory, then bye-bye to Unreal. So that's one thing. Although I would say
I mean storage.
in the long run though, I'd say it is, depending on what kind of game you're trying to make, it is pretty good because I love to see, when it comes to like graphic quality, like graphics quality and stuff like that, Unreal really hits the spot. Can you stop? You're like behind the scenes. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit silly. I'm gonna be a little funny. And then when you actually talk into the mic, you're like,
Sig's gaslighting me right now. I've not made any sounds at all. He's just staring at me, making faces. I've done nothing. It's just slander, frankly, and it's just blatantly lying to me, I just find it quite hurtful.
I think
that's all I'm hearing from you, buddy.
I think David should pick our next engine.
Yeah, pick. Well, there's only one there.
No, there's other engines. We could go over Roblox Studio.
Right before we,
I'm not joking. We genuinely could.
Yeah. Right before we move on from Unreal, I'd just like to say there's another underlying issue which I think comes from the fact that if you want to make your game quite open source that multiple people can use, if you do use Unreal, maybe some other devices may not be able to run games that are made on it because of how good the graphics are. So
That's not what open source means.
I'm not talking about open source.
You just said open source.
Did I say open source?
You did.
I genuinely cannot remember saying that. I'm not gonna lie.
David's a bit scared, so you forgive him.
Yeah, he's gaslighting me. Honestly, why is everyone bullying me in this podcast? Anyway.
Yeah, what? No.
Anyway, moving on from Unreal. Maybe more catered towards kids and people of a younger age. The Roblox Studios. I've personally never used it. I've wanted to use it in the past, but I can't because I use Linux now. The superior operating system.
Oh
And now I'm now they're saying I'm schizo because I use Linux.
I mean, yeah, real, but
There's no. Oh my god, you're insane. You're gaslighting.
Oh my gaslighting.
There's no better operating system. They're all the same. They all have their ups and downs and lefts and rights. Let go of the
That's
mic. Put it in the middle.
that's incorrect.
It's very inappropriate of you to say.
Let's go back, bring it back to Roblox Studio.
Yeah, back to Roblox Studio. As I said, it's more catered towards kids, so I feel like it puts you more in a market which has potential to come off a lot quicker. Because bear in mind, kids will play anything. Like you can, if you go on to Roblox, you can see there's all sorts of things like Among Us Tycoon. There's
and the Kim Kardashian incident.
I don't know what he means by that, but I'm going to presume that it's bad. But if you think about it, the Roblox Studio there's a lot of options there because kids will do anything and they'll buy anything. They'll steal their parents' credit cards. So you can make yours. You could make like a little bear, then like sell it for 100,000 Robux, and a child will buy that, and they'll turn their parents bankrupt. But then you won't be bankrupt because you'll be rich. Although I must say though, with every single thing made on the Roblox Studio, they take a 30% cut, which to be fair is standard in the industry. However, for something as menial as a Roblox game, which could, whereas they can look good, they can only ever have a certain quality, and it's very limited.
There's that one Roblox game. I don't know the exact name of it, but there is.
The Regretivator. Oh, Frontlines.
That might be it. It's a shooter, and it looks
it's so
really
good, bro.
realistic.
It's so good.
Really like it looks really like HD and everything. It kind of looks like it's made in Unreal or something.
Yeah.
Very impressive. So
That's
I think
what they did with. Oh my god. That's the Fortnite editor.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that with the. I was actually gonna say that with the Unreal point, but I forgot. Yeah, with Unreal,
Oh yeah.
they're kind of sort of Epic Games. It's not really a fork of Unreal, but they're kind of teaching kids or training them up almost to use Unreal with the Fortnite editor.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. I do
which
like
is pretty
that.
cool. Yeah, no.
But also, the thing is though, with the whole Roblox editor thing, there are some games that I do personally like in the Roblox art style. Like it fits. Like there's one game that I've recently played. I think it looks pretty good. Regretivator. It's they based off of, I think it was the meme elevator thing. Like, you know, when you'd go through an elevator and then you'd find a meme and then you'd go back into the elevator and you keep going down.
I've played games similar to that because I've played Roblox when I was much younger. I still play Roblox. I have played. Okay, you didn't let me speak. You're going over me here. It's like very rude of you. Okay?
No. Okay,
We have 10 minutes.
You're
to bring it back
a
to point.
child, Sig. Okay, you're a child. You keep making these noises. You keep mocking me. Everybody else here is very adult, very sensible. And you keep interrupting me. I'm supposed to be your guest here, and you're making this very difficult experience. Anyway, moving on.
I'm being
So, in the Roblox Studio, you don't just have to make games. You can also make items, clothing, all sorts of things. It's quite a large market compared to Unreal and Unity. And believe it or not, Roblox Studio, you can make money. You earn Robux. I mean, after you make them in the game, and it'll be thrown onto a catalog. And then once that's made, you can convert your Robux into money, obviously with the 30% cut.
I personally actually didn't know that. I don't know. I thought it was literally just like
No,
you only
no.
had Robux. It was like actual money.
You can make a living.
You take out it's once you've reached a certain threshold of Robux in your wallet, you can take them out for real world money.
Oh.
However, they will be worth more if you keep them in Robux, which is kind of predatory. There's a good video, which I think we should link it in the description actually, by People Make Games.
Yeah, no, if you find it, yeah. Just
I'll put it in when I
I'll
send
put
you the
it- yeah.
description text. It's by People Make Games, and it's about sort of the sort of issues surrounding Roblox and the sort of child game industry. It's very interesting. I definitely recommend watching it. It's entertaining as well.
And for the last bit, there isn't a lot of time because there was an issue with these crappy iMacs. So we're gonna move on to Godot for that last bit, and then we're gonna wrap up. So yeah, personally, I've
Godot or Godot.
Yeah, same. Oh well.
I call it. I might be using the things interchangeably. Just want to let it know if people think that we're mispronouncing it.
Yeah,
we are aware of both.
Yeah. So basically, I personally, I've been using it, and I genuinely like it. I think it's really cool. I like the UI. I like the way it's set up. Like you can tell that it is like kind of like a self-made game engine for free. You could tell. But it's really nice. Like the stuff that you could do on it feels clean. It feels right. It feels almost like Unity. I mean, and the thing is, like, because of how small it is, it's minuscule. Yeah, it's like literally tiny. I mean, you can get it on your phone if you really wanted to.
I think it's like 150 megabytes.
It's insane. It's great. But yeah. So I'm using it, and I'm working on a project that will hopefully release at some point. I'll probably let you guys know about that like later on once I feel more comfortable and if I'm 100% going with this idea. So I'm going to be doing that, and personally it's pretty good. I like it. I like the script, the GD script, which is our own personal and custom script. It's really easy to understand and learn, and that's been going well for me. So yeah, that's it. Really, I'm personally, I like it. What about you? I know that you 100% use it a lot. You like grind.
I really like it. No, so I started making a game in Godot. It's very much. I think basically Godot is kind of geared almost, or it's sort of. It does things. I guess the best way to describe it is it tries to do things in the most simple way possible. Like it didn't try and, like with Unity and stuff, you'll have like I don't know. Like you want to like do something and you'll have to create some like weird volume, and then you'll have to like add some like components to that, and then you'll have to do some other thing to that, and you'll have to do some like script to drag things in to like link things up. Godot, you can kind of just you'll have things that just kind of do one thing, and you just kind of like put them in, they just do that one thing, and it's very sort of easy to learn. And again, with GD script, it's very similar to Python, so if you already know Python, then you'll have no problem learning it really quickly. I personally like it a lot. I think that I'd say I've never tried it for 3D. I've only ever used it in 2D, so I can't really speak for how it would be in 3D. But for 2D, it's definitely, I think, probably on top. But for 3D, I can't really speak for that.
Yeah, I think for 3D, Unity and Unreal, like in this case, I think like for the small game engines.
Have you seen Cassette Beasts?
No.
It's a very cool game.
I'll have a look at it.
Let
me know when we're done recording this.
Yeah. It's like Octopath Traveler, but it's made in Godot. It's very cool.
So, yeah. What are your opinions on Godot, David? On this? I mean, you never used it, so.
It's open source.
I've never used Godot, but I've heard very good things. And maybe this may stray from Godot. Maybe it's not had as much attention, but I would like to reel myself back to the Roblox Studios. Because there is one more underlying issue I find, and that is with Roblox itself and its reputation. And because it's so well catered to kids, people see it as kind of a game where you can't really play it without being labelled as you can't really make a mockery of when you kind of play Roblox. So I feel as if Roblox really shouldn't be seen as a childlike game. Like, there's actually age ratings in Roblox. Like, if you see some of the games, some of it is quite concerning because parents just kind of let their kids play Roblox, and like, you can play a game with like blood, guts. There's games where you can like cut people in half. It's kind of insane. Not to mention, like, when you die in Roblox, you get dismembered, which nobody really like pays attention to. Like, it's just flat out dismemberment. Your arms and your legs and your head are separated.
Don't say that. You're gonna get. What if Roblox find this? They're gonna be like, oh my god, he's got a good point, and then they're just gonna make it so it's like instead of you dismembered, you just go flat on your face.
I don't.
If they make it a ragdoll, I would love that personally. No, if you get exploded and then instead of your like body parts flying everywhere, you're flailing around at Mach 5 and then you slam into the world borders. I would love that. Okay.
Well, that's how you know that he knows nothing about Godot. So there you go, folks.
Well, I mean, quick fire ratings. I think we can all agree Scratch is S tier. I think we can
You're
also.
lying to yourself.
I think Scratch is S tier. GB Studio is a pretty cool engine. Lets you make things for Game
Oh
Boy.
yes, I've
if you're
seen.
into that.
I'm thinking of down because I saw it on Itch and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
hang on a minute. This is what Felix used.
GB Studio is very cool. I don't know about I don't know how many full-scale games have been made in it, but definitely a very cool project to look out for. Game Maker have recently swapped their stupid subscription fee that they changed it to for a while back to a one-time payment of £100. So if you're looking for that, that's quite a good deal. Game Maker is obviously what I think Risk of Rain 1 was made in, and also what Undertale and Deltarune are being made in, so they're pretty cool games. Obviously, definitely go check them out. But yeah, Game Maker's pretty cool. I think that's, I guess you got CryEngine, that big game engine.
Yeah, but that's way too. That was expensive to hold.
It's expensive.
And still is, so.
Yeah, it's expensive and I think
Oh,
it's very
and the
hard for-
Hedgehog engine, the one that made for like Sonic games.
Sonic Mania.
I
Oh,
love
that's
I
really
love
cool.
Sega so much because they've put out their engine out to the public. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
And one more thing before we close off. How do you guys feel about the engines that games will exclusively use for their own, like what BioWare uses and Call of Duty and all of that?
I think definitely it's cool that I think it can help you get better games if industry is trying to use a sort of secret, sort of proprietary engine, because it definitely, you can build a game engine that's specifically built for your game, and I think that will result in a much better product.
Yeah, like Terraria as well. I
Yeah,
really like what
Terraria.
they've done. Like, they don't. It's
That's
their own.
XNA,
The
yeah.
only problem though is that since it is their own game engine, they have to spend a lot of the money on this game engine to keep it going, keep it updated, you know,
Yeah.
keep people on it. So yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, thank you for that. Actually, not that bad of a question. Surprised, especially since you're literally sitting there like a blob.
You may be seeing David again. You may not.
When it comes to other stuff,
I'm not a blob.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
And on that note, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen,
Yeah.
boys and girls and everybody in between,
Thank
we
you for
should,
watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. David, do you want to get in here and do the goodbye?
No.
Bye.
Sig, stop the recording. Sig.
Mwah.
Sig, stop the...